Media mob caught in yet another lie over the COVID lab leak theory.
The lab leak theory.
That COVID lab leak theory.
Lab leak is what's being described.
Lab leak.
Which is why this lab leak story is such a big deal.
Lab leak? What are they talking about? Well, it all starts with this recent Wall Street Journal reporting that lab leak most likely origin of COVID-19 pandemic, Energy Department now says. The U.S. Energy Department has concluded that the COVID pandemic most likely arose from a laboratory leak, according to a classified intelligence report recently provided to the White House and key members of Congress. That's the story. An intelligence assessment that COVID came from a lab rather than from an animal infecting a human in a marketplace, a natural origin, as has been the conventional wisdom and main scientific explanation these past 3 years.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Natural origin, as has been the conventional wisdom and main scientific explanation these past 3 years. And it's not just the Department of Energy. FBI Director Christopher Wray spoke about his agency's assessment just days after the big Wall Street Journal piece came out.
The FBI has for quite some time now assessed that the origins of the pandemic are most likely a potential lab incident in Wuhan.
He said that, surprise, on Fox. So why is right-wing media so big on lab leak? Why, after years of downplaying the pandemic, do they even care about COVID's origin? How does this story fit into the Fox business model of 24/7 outrage and fear-mongering? Because the idea that COVID somehow leaked out of a Chinese lab rather than from an animal infecting a human, that idea has become a rallying cry on the right, a cudgel with which to beat scientists, the liberal media, China, and anyone else who gets in their way.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Some of those, let's be frank, let's call a spade a spade. Some of those outside are part of the far right. Some are COVID deniers, some are vaccine deniers, and some are Tories.
Yeah, fun little motherfucker. Thanks a lot, coronavirus. Thanks a lot.
Today, Americans are more likely to believe that COVID came from a lab rather than from an animal infecting a human, even though most studies, as I'll demonstrate, suggest the opposite, that it is natural origin.
After 20 years, scientists have finished mapping the entire human genome, and scientists say in this gene right here, we can see what made you into such a little bitch.
So how did we get here? Were we lied to? And on what basis are the proponents of the lab leak theory already declaring victory in the debate over the origins of COVID?
How do you feel about the science now, though?
So I will say this. And I honestly mean this. I think we owe a great debt of gratitude to science. Science has, in many ways, helped ease the suffering of this pandemic, which was more than likely caused by science.
What do you mean by that? Do you mean like there's a chance that this was created in a lab, there's an investigation?
A chance?
Well,
oh my
if there's evidence, I'd love to hear it.
There's a novel respiratory coronavirus overtaking Wuhan, China. What do we do? Oh, you know who we could ask? The Wuhan novel respiratory coronavirus lab. The disease is the same name as the lab. That's just a little too weird, don't you think? And then they ask the scientists, they're like, how did this... So wait a minute, you work at the Wuhan respiratory coronavirus lab. How did this happen? And they're like, a pangolin kissed a turtle. And you're like, no, the name of your lab. If you look at the name, let me see your business card. Show me your business card. Oh, I work at the coronavirus lab in Wuhan. Oh, because there's a coronavirus loose in Wuhan. How did that happen? Maybe a bat flew into the cloaca of a turkey and then it sneezed into my chili, and now we all have coronavirus.
Today, I want to look at, examine, and debunk. Yes, debunk